Hi guys, welcome back. Thought I'd do a quick video. Me and my wife are getting ready to do a road trip into the BC interior starting tomorrow for about 12 days. So just wanted to clean up the bike before I get started, and I haven't done a video on the K1600, so thought I would do one. I needed to wash the bike and then go and get some gas just to make sure we're ready to go in the morning. I'm recording this after filming the video, and have to say I'm a bit embarrassed. I've been riding the SMCR and it's less than half the way to the K1600. So a few embarrassing moments on the bike, stalling it, forgetting to pull my credit card out of the machine at the gas station and having to be told on the loudspeaker. So I might edit some of the more embarrassing moments out, but I thought I'd share it with you guys. I know I've mentioned the K1600, but haven't actually showed it on video. Tried to do a bit of a review while I was riding, but not much to say. It's just a really easy bike to ride, really fun. It's great for touring. It's not super fun for, running to work or going to do an errand or anything like that. It is definitely designed for over 2-hour rides. I think anything less than that, it becomes a bit of a bear to move around at slow speeds and back around the parking lot. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy the video. If you have any questions on the K1600, let me know. I think my channel is mostly going to focus on the SMCR, but happy to do any videos on the K1600. I haven't done much to the bike, not really a whole lot to do to it. It's not a performance bike, although it is fast. It's got 160 horsepower and I think 130 foot-pounds of torque. So plenty for what it is, and it's a great bike and super smooth. That flat six is just effortless acceleration. So hope you enjoy the video. Thanks guys.
Hi guys, so this is my K1600. I've talked about it in a few videos, but haven't actually done any videos on it. Just cleaned it up. Me and my wife are going on a 10-day ride through the BC interior, and I need to gas it up. So I thought I would do a very quick walk around and then a ride review video. Won't take me too long. Gas station's about a 5-minute ride away, so nothing major. But I'll just quickly talk about it. Love this bike. It's a beast. It's a big bike. A lot to handle, but I do love it. So I forgot my wallet. I had to run back and get that. Won't get too far at the gas station without it. So I got a new helmet too, so I'm testing out the new setup with the microphone. Hopefully this comes through. So I haven't done much to this bike. Left it pretty much stock. It's got everything. I haven't even bothered with an exhaust. Just because the aftermarket exhaust options are pretty limited and pretty pricey. And this one doesn't actually sound too bad. Definitely don't need any more performance for a touring bike. This bike's pretty quick as is for what it is. So I've got brand new tires. It's all set up for the trip. Got it serviced. I don't do much of the servicing on this bike. I've always primarily done my own servicing, but with this bike, with all the fancy technology and the electronic suspension and quick shifter and hill hold and all the other things on it, I prefer just to pay the shop where I got it to get everything done. Like I said, haven't ridden this bike much since I got the KTM. The quick shifter on this is just amazing. It just bumps into gears effortlessly, up or down. You don't even feel it. Let these gals cross. There's an upshift, you don't even feel it. Yeah, the bike's rock solid. I mean, with the electronic suspension, I know people say the telelever feels a bit vague, and it does. There isn't a lot of feedback. But I find with this bike, I'm not necessarily hustling it around and flicking it side to side, so I don't really need the feeling as much. It's a better, long distance bike. I'll often go out and do an 8-hour day on this, just traveling up to the BC interior and back and do the Duffy Lakes loop. I do have some video footage on that, but it's a pretty long route and I'm just not that great at editing, so I haven't bothered doing it. So like I said, I got a new helmet and set it up on this. Set up my vlogging setup here. Hopefully the sound comes through. I had to tuck it in. This one's actually quite cramped. I got a Rye Signet X, which I'd previously had the Signet Q, and I loved that helmet, and just the cost of a Rye, I was trying to switch to different helmets. I should have just bought this 3 years ago when the Signet Q needed a replacement, but anyway, I've got it now. It's super comfortable. I got a medium. Normally I wear a large in pretty much every brand, but with a Rye you can really fit the size. But yeah, this bike's fast. I mean, it handles amazing. I used to have a ZX14 and I wouldn't say the handling's on par with that bike, but it's pretty close. I mean, certainly not the same power, but it does have tons of power. It's got the flat 6-cylinder engine, so the torque is just amazing. It's torque everywhere. I mean, just so smooth in the corners. It'll be a little bit more of a handful tomorrow with my wife on the back and full of gear, but when it's empty and just me, I mean, this bike is it just floats. And I mean, some people criticize it for that, like I said, saying it's got a bit of a vague feeling, which it does. You don't feel a whole lot. There's almost no brake dive with the telelever front suspension. It's pretty nice for that. I think as long as you know what this bike's for, and that's touring, then it's an amazing bike. I had this as, I had this and a WR 250R, and I found that they were just such different ends of the spectrum, and the WR 250R, I really, like I said in my commute video, I really never took to that bike. And to me, the two bikes were just at the extremes. And I wanted a bit more of an all-rounder, which, maybe the KTM's not an all-rounder, but it does, most of what I need it to do other than touring, and I've got this for that purpose. So I think it's the perfect complement. If you've got a touring bike, somebody posted a comment on one of my previous videos saying they had a Street Glide and the SMCR, and the Street Glide's similar to this in its function and purpose, so I think that's just a great combination. A touring bike and the SMCR, which is just so much fun to bomb around on. This bike is a great bike and I love it, but it is not fun just to run an errand or to head to work on. It's just too much. But yeah, super well planted, tons of power. Yeah, I've got it in road mode right now. Maybe I'll pop it into dynamic, which unlike the KTM, when you switch the riding modes on this bike, you really feel the difference. It's the dynamic mode is just incredible acceleration. Like I said, that quick shifter is just so smooth. And yeah, this bike for touring is just incredible. I mean, it'll get, depending on how you ride it, 500 kilometers if you're being easy on a tank, which is great. You can. I've got a Sergeant seat on it. The stock seat's comfortable for about 2 hours, but anything over about 4 hours was pretty painful. I could deal with it on an Airhawk with an Airhawk pad, but my wife just couldn't deal with it, so I got the Sergeant seat last summer. We didn't do any tours on it, so didn't really get to test it, but my wife's gonna test it out tomorrow. I mean, some of the gadgets on this are a bit unnecessary, like it's got this automatic locking gas cap, which is I don't know if people are really stealing gas from bikes, but you have to kind of time it perfectly for when you turn it off and get it open. Oh, there we go.
Number 2, can you take your card out, please?
All right, well, that was a bit embarrassing. I left the my credit card on the bike, and it was beeping and I didn't hear it, and I had to come on the loudspeaker and tell me to pull my card out. I stalled the bike. This is not my finest moment of riding. This has got hill hold control, which, you know, I didn't think I would use, but once you have it, it's actually pretty great. It's also got electronic reverse. It uses the starter motor, which again is something that I really didn't want. Figured I wouldn't use it, and to be fair, I use it very, very rarely. But it is helpful on road trips when I've got the wife on the back and full of gear. It's, you know, if you're on a slight decline and you're trying to back this bike up, it's almost impossible. So having that reverse is pretty helpful. I will do a mountain ride where I review the Wings exhaust that I've got. First impressions on that are pretty incredible. I took it for a quick test ride after I put on the exhaust, and I also put on the Power Commander 5, and that has really, really increased the power. It is an amazing difference. I was looking at the map that I downloaded from DynoJet, and in the mid RPM range, it's adding close to 25% fueling at some of that mid-range, mid RPM. So it just shows you how lean the bike is stock, and how much more just a pipe will lean it out. I mean, it makes sense. The catalytic converter is built into the existing pipe, so getting rid of that, it's, you know, I'm not going to say it's the same as a full exhaust system, but it's pretty close. You know, it's doing a slip-on is essentially a cat delete and a freer flowing exhaust. So I wanted to put the Cat Power Commander on, excuse me, right away, just for that reason. I didn't want to make the bike any leaner than it already was, and it's really woken up. You know, I thought about getting the Akrapovic exhaust, but, you know, for $3,000, and the Acro exhausts are, you know, they're not all that much louder, and they don't sound all that much better. This exhaust sounds pretty decent. It's got that BMW 6-cylinder whine. It's almost like an old M3 when you're on the gas. So I mean, it's big and it's ugly, and I'm sure it would save some weight, but you know, those exhausts are $3,000, $3,500 in Canada. The Remus slip-ons are, you know, about $2,500, and yeah, I just haven't seen the point. So I've kept this stock. I don't think there's a lot of options for performance parts on it anyway, and really it doesn't need it. I always think it's a bit funny trying to get your touring bike to have a lot more power, and you know, at that point just get a sport bike. If I wanted a bike that was fast and able to tour, I'd probably think about getting a new Hayabusa. Is pretty awesome. So yeah, really quick ride. I just thought I'd show you guys this bike just because I haven't had it on video. And I do love this bike. I saw that guy on the way up. I wonder if he lives in the neighborhood. So yeah, really quick review. I'll try to take some video while I'm out on this road trip. Hopefully see some grizzly bears. We're gonna try to start off on our route early in the morning and see what we can see. And yeah, that'll be it. Thanks for joining me, guys. Maybe I'll just show you guys how this reverse works. This is going to be probably my worst riding that I've ever done on video, just because I have not ridden this bike much this year, and it is a lot heavier than the SMCR, and I'm kind of riding like a goof here, but so you put in neutral, and then didn't like the really steep incline, which I guess makes sense. It is just using the starter motor here. There we go.